messieurs, bienvenue à tous et à toutes pour cette journée du final du 35e championnat d'Europe de tennis de table par équipe. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Liber ITTF European Table Tennis Champions League. Welcome to the teams and umpire. Applaudissements aux équipes, aux arbitres. La grande finale de cette 35e édition, finale féminine. Applaudissements à la Roumanie. Applaudissements au Portugal.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, table tennis fans all around the world, welcome my friends to the final day of the 2019 European Team Table Tennis Championships here in Nantes, France. I'm your commentator Fraser Riley, and I'm delighted to be with you as history is made and we see which countries will sit on top of the European table tennis tree. Looking at the final showdowns of today's play, we begin with the women's final between Portugal and the defending champions Romania. Portugal, of course, to be the only country with teams in both the men's and women's finals. Very impressive feat indeed. Then we conclude with the climax of the men's final with the repeat battle of the 2014 and 2017 championships. Portugal take on the current kings Germany after a picture-perfect finish yesterday against second-seeded Sweden. So, a theatrical display ahead of us today as the stands fill with passionate spectators watching on to the centre stage as their favourite players clash swords. And here are the Portuguese players, Yu Fu and Sheni Zhao, key in helping the Portuguese overcome Germany in the quarter-finals. Both of them beating Patricia Solja. The two girls on the right, slightly less experienced and lower ranked. The Romanian women maturing and improving amazingly of late. They've been around the mix a lot of the time. They were runners-up though in 2010, 2011, 2013 and 2015. But 2 years ago, in 2017, they lay the runners-up ghost to rest, and they eventually won and became Europe's #1 team and champions. As you can see, the draw for both countries on the way to the finals. Romania playing against Spain and Slovakia, beating both of those countries in straight sets, 3-love, 3-love. Portugal had Russia in the group and Croatia. They scraped through Russia in the 5th, 3-2, and then beat Croatia in a slightly easier fashion, 3-1. Only the top seeds in the groups, the teams that finished first, progressed into the last 8. The war of the draw, killing off every country apart from these two. Who's going to be standing on top of that podium? You're going to have to stay tuned to find out. And of course, if you fancy checking out any of the results of the games that have been happening over the past 6 days of table tennis, then I strongly recommend you go onto the ITTF and ETTU websites and social media pages. You'll find everything you need to know. right there. So then first match up, Bernadette Szocs against Jieni Shao. What a player. Playing well above her world ranking suggests. She had an absolute firecracker of a match yesterday against Georgina Potter of Hungary, coming out with some amazing forehands. Bernadette Szocs, more decorated player. Number 2 in Europe, world ranked number 17. So after the umpire tosses the coin and decides which player will serve first, well, the players can decide that for themselves. Well, the person who wins the toss can. When you win the toss and you guess what colour is on the coin, you can choose to either serve or receive, and then your opponent can decide whether they want to stand on one side of the table or the other. They can choose which side they start on. So here she's the 25-year-old, number 2 in Europe, 1 place behind Europe's number. Here she is, Miss Fahrenheit, world ranked number 88. Playing some of the best table tennis she's ever played. Left-handed and right-handed players.
First match in this final for Romania, Bernadette Szocs.
Obviously depends on the matchup, but
Shao Jieni.
in general, left-handers having a slight advantage, because when you think about it, there's fewer of them than right-handers, so they have more experience playing against right-handed players than right-handed players have playing against left-handers. If that makes the slightest bit of sense, I hope it does. France not having as much of an incentive to cheer, as the Frenchmen were eliminated yesterday in the men's semi-final against Germany. However, these two fighting for deserved glory. Jieni Shao to begin. Bernadette Szocs has some tricks up her sleeve. She likes doing the tomahawk serve. Are we about to see it now? Yes, we are. And as you can see with that, you can sort of disguise spin quite discreetly. That one having top spin, Jieni Shao pushing it up, making a mistake. And Bernadette taking the bait.
Left 2-4.
Portugal 7th seed, so they're expected to be eliminated in the quarter-final stage. But they upset the German 2nd seeds. And as I said, beat Hungary yesterday. Jieni Shao playing some outstanding table tennis against Georgina Potter. Portugal number 1. In Dora Madarash in 3 straight sets. And then finishing it off against Potter to take Portugal into this final. Now she's up against the highest ranked player she's going to have to play at the championships Bernadette Szocs. Did you rise to the challenge? Or, as the pundits predicted, can the Romanian #1 get a dream start for her country here? She definitely could with backhands like that. Shao stepping around playing the forehand. Bernadette realising that. Playing the open space. Bernadette has a slightly hand. She prefers the slow spin with that and then using the forehand as the killer shot. Jieni Shao not bringing out the forehands that we saw in yesterday's semi-final. She's going to have to get used to those tricky serves of Bernadette. Tomahawk serve, not so common anymore. We see a few players doing it, like off-to-off, Miyukatu of the women's national Japan team. A few others from the women's Japan team doing the tomahawk serve. Kenta Matsudara, Ding Ding. But the majority of the time players use the pendulum and reverse pendulum. Bernadette receiving serve positively. Yufu looking deep in thought. It was clever from Bernadette, she was pinning that, and then I was waiting for her to switch to the forehand. Eventually she tried it, but it didn't. Just a bit of fortune. However, she has been the more positive of the two players. She's a very extrovert player, likes to get vocal for the big games. Still 3 more remaining for Bernadette Szocs. Can the European #2 justify her ranking in this opener? Well, look at that, slappy backhand, cross court to finish it off with style. And she jogs over to the corner to a satisfied Romanian camp. The Portuguese have cause for concern. She means business laying down the law early on. She's definitely not underestimating her opponent, despite the difference in ranking. Of course, it's the finals. She's playing to win. The key thing there. It's important to play to win, as opposed to playing not to. As soon as you tense up, it's very difficult to relax and play the shots. Very fine margins in table tennis. You need to be completely composed. Finish out with the pendulum. Bernadette missing and misreading. The backhand flick. There's definitely that slow backhand spin from Bernadette that's the recipe for success. Last year's Europe Top 16 Cup winner in Montreux. More like it from Jieni. Levelled up in the second game. That's the forehand that was causing Potter and Patricia Sawyer, for that matter, a whole heap of problems. Bernadette Szocs was 5 in the world for under 15s, 7 in the world for under 18s, and 20 in the world for under 21s. Slight fortune, but a lovely place backhand. I would say though, it's her senior career, 3 years after moving to one age group, that she sort of improved the most and gained the majority of her fan base. T-Bar's main woman. Jieni Shao with a definite better set. She's been fearless against everyone she's played against. Oh, sort of like a tomahawk chop block from Bernadette, but Shao unfazed. She nails it down the line. Bernadette reaching out. Jieni Shao didn't have a cadet ranking, but she was 61 in the world in under 18s and 11 in the world in under 21s. So she was up there as a youth player. But obviously the senior is a whole different ball game. She's 88 in the world. 8-5. To Mrs. Fahrenheit. Burning on 200 degrees at the moment. A blur of red and green. She commits to every forehand that she plays. Lovely counter top spinning from Bernadette. Peak of timing point, taking the ball in front of her. There you see the backhand that gets Jieni Shao passive, stretches her, and then wait. Jieni Shao nowhere to be seen for that one. Bernadette has something to say about that as she responds with a convincing backhand flick. And a revved up forehand top spin. Tightening the screw. And we see an understandable timeout on the side of Portugal. They sense that Bernadette is through the door. Jieni Shao will be looking to close it before it's too late. She's going to have to play positively at 9-8 up. Bernadette's looking to eat up all the loose scraps. Bernadette playing a total 1,123 matches in her career, and this is actually a really impressive start. Probably the stat that impresses me the most about Bernadette Szocs is that out of those 1,123 matches, she's won 73% of them, 819 games. Very, very impressive indeed. Not just a pretty face. Jieni Shao keeping her cool there, focusing on the task in hand. She does well. She was playing some of her best table tennis at the tightest moments yesterday. Some booming bombs of forehands. Bernadette now in a spot of bother. We've got a match on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. And there we go. Jieni Zhao giving Bernadette Szocs a taste of her own medicine with the tomahawk serve. And the Portuguese number 2 levels up against Romania's number 1. That's the format that they play. Depends on which team is home and away. Bernadette, Romania's number 1, starts off against a number 2 player, and then if the match extends beyond 3 sets, then her next match would be against ROU, Portugal's number 1 player, who's been the rock of the Portugal women's team.
Cinquième, troisième manche.
Okay. Shao to serve. Bravo.
Well, the tomahawk serve proving successful, hang up her big forehand. Bernadette needs to be wary of it because it's obliterated past Patricia Sawyer and Georgina Potter. Two players high up the pecking order in Europe, so Jieni Zhao going against all expectations. And smashing every single barrier really that she's come up against. She did lose to Han Ying, the amazing German shopper, 3-1 in the quarter-final. But it was the deciding at 2-2 against Germany that Jieni Zhao prevailed. 11-6 in the 5th against Patricia Sawyer. Well, the onslaught, the slaughter continues, and Szocs yet to get a point on the board. Rubbing salt into the wounds, what can Bernadette do in answer to this? Oh, a second bit of fortune. Bernadette visually upset, not just with the way things are going, but the luck against her. 7-love to Shao. And despite being wounded, Bernadette Szocs begins to heal. But still a very, very, very healthy lead for the Portuguese. And a backhand down the line. That was the shot that Bernadette was using to sort of win that first game. But Shao now reading the spin a little bit better. Well, a lot better. 8-1 up. Romania beating France, home crowd favourites in the quarter-final. And then beating Poland 3-1. But Bernadette and Elizabeta Samara proving their top 2 status in the team. Here though, Shao is throwing a spanner in the works. Shao's also going now for the tomahawk. Slightly different to the tomahawk of Bernadette. It's sort of slightly longer and quicker. She looks to be playing more topspin serves than Bernadette was. Maybe if Bernadette wants to answer back, she needs to sort of change the speed that she's playing, because Jieni Shao loves it quick. It's as though she sort of plays fire with fire. Maybe if Bernadette wants to give herself a fighting chance in this third end, she needs to sort of slow things down. Go for heavy spin and increase the percentages. Oh, what a rally. Inches away from Szocs down the line, but Shao in the driving seat. Is it too little too late from Bernadette? It simply is. Jieni Shao with a dream start here. Portugal couldn't have asked for a much better one.
2 games to 1 for Portugal. Troisième match remporté par Shao Jieni du Portugal. 11-6 devant Shao Jieni en faveur de la Portugaise.
The next match will be, if I'm not mistaken, ROU against Elizabeth. I correct myself, it will be Danielle Monteiro Dorian next against ROU. ROU is Portugal's #1. Monteiro Dorian is Romania's #3. So if Bernadette doesn't win this, if Szocs is shook by Jieni Shao, then it's very, very possible indeed that Romania could find themselves 2-0 down, having to make a mountainous comeback, because ROU has been stone-faced and almost robotic in the way that she's gone about her business this tournament and championships. What words of wisdom has the Romanian coach inputted into Bernadette Szocs? Or is it more of a mental thing with her? Tactics important. Mental strength and confidence, I'd say, even more so important. Bernadette ramping up with the chores. Getting into the head of Jieni Shao. Tomahawk serving coming. But Szocs confident with the flick down the line, putting it straight back to where it came from. Jieni Shao unable to recover. Oh, oh, Bernadette with a sort of wind-hyper chop block. Gets the lobs on. I think it was the right shot for Bernadette to go to. The shot was there. Jieni Shao was out of. Bernadette's been pretty good with the forehand counter. She says keep your elbow a bit lower. Ooh. Well, they do say that it evens itself out, but I'd definitely say that Jieni Shao has had slightly more fortune, although let's take nothing away from her. She's showing no respect to the Romanian number one. Stable with the forehands. From one slightly slower and spinnier into the body of Jieni Shao. It's a very effective place to put the ball into the crossover section of your opponent. She means business. Bernadette Szocs keeping this with the backhand. Using the strength of Jieni Shao's forehand against her there. Bernadette trying to absorb the incoming missiles. The last one into a middle made her a little bit more indecisive. She tries that sort of side sweeping, sort of like a half block topspin in between both of those shots. This is the last full season of table tennis before next summer's Tokyo Olympic Games. Players fighting for individual seeding positions. They want to be as high up as they can get to make the draw easier for themselves. It's worth noting that only 2 players from each country can play the singles. Oh, devastating play from Jieni Shao. They were the sort of play yesterday against Georgina Pota. Bernadette constantly on the back foot. And Jieni Shao merciless in the way that she killed her off there. 7-8, but she got the second serve coming in. That's an admirable shot at such a tight position in the match, edging towards a possible 5th set now. Bernadette sticking with the tomahawk serve. That's good play, setting herself up, building it up nicely, not just sort of going too big too soon. She spots the shot that she feels is best to attack and hit straight through it into the backhand of Jieni Shao. And there we have it, we're going to a decider. Bernadette Szocs fighting till the end. She had a bit of a scare in that 4th end. It was a make it or break it situation. And the person, the lady who wins the next set, will give their team a 1-0 advantage in this European Championship final.
j'entends le public qui est là pour supporter le Portugal. Et le public qui supporte la Roumanie.
Bernadette's played 10 World Championships. The first was 2010 in Moscow. So more experienced and decorated, Bernadette Szocs. Can that experience be valuable in helping her get over the line against this fighting Mrs. Fahrenheit, Jieni Shao? Bernadette Szocs saying that it clipped the edge. Umpire mustn't have seen it. Yeah, very, very thin. Good sportsmanship from Shao. I guess with the replay, it becomes sort of irrelevant what the players say, more about what the camera says. I've noticed the sort of way that both players stand on the table. Jieni Shao are waiting on the backhand. Bernadette stands more centrally, so the best way to play her is wide on the angles. Oh. The tide has turned. Bernadette had the dream start with a 2-love lead, but the Portuguese locomotive driving through the past 4 points. Well, the sorcery of the tomahawk serve. It's magical how much the ball can kick from that serve. The variation of spin players can produce superior at this level. And look at that forehand. Jieni Shao feels as though she set her up for that. Gave her an early Christmas present. Bernadette accepted the voucher and spent it topspin. We're seeing constant changes in momentum. 2 points to Bernadette, 4 points to Shao, and now Szocs getting back into it.
5-4.
The importance of playing every point as it comes to you being illustrated here. What a flick into the middle. Jieni Shao sort of started stepping around to the forehand, so she was raising. You see she steps around, but off balance completely. Bernadette with the last second decision making. Well, that was a lovely backhand block. It was like we've seen her do it a few times already, but it's like takes the spin off the ball, disturbs the pace. 6-5 to the world number 16. The world number 88 now, 7-5 down. You can see the spin on that tomahawk serve. The backhand flick of Jieni Shao not strong enough. 7-5. Ooh, well, Bernadette sort of dinks it short. Jieni Shao can't come in quick enough. It was high, but because it was so shallow, Shao was a little bit flat-footed. It's very important to stay on the tip of your toes. Oh, look at the camp. Beautiful. I'm lost for words after that. I can't even get my words out. Shots. Spreading Jieni Shao around like butter on toast. Very happy with that. She goes for the big finish there with the forehand. Says, calm down, Bernadette. You've got a cushioned lead here. Let's not be too silly. Just do what needs to be done. No little, no more. Oh. Well, the luck has returned. The pendulum has swung back to Bernadette Szocs. She was 2-1 down in sets. But from 2-1 down, Bernadette does it. She's ecstatic about the fact that she's just beaten a player that's taken a few scalps this championships, Jieni Shao. But it's not to be for the world number 88. She had the 2-1 lead. Bernadette coming back to achieve bigger and better things in the last two sets. The Romanian camp have smiles on their face as their number one justifies her position in the team and takes the first step towards Romania defending their championship.